Welcome to The Explainer. What happens when a soldier's loyalty to their country clashes with their loyalty to their own people? It's a tough question, right? Well, today we're diving into the incredible true story of an army regiment that had to make that exact choice. And in doing so, they actually helped create a brand new nation.
So how does an army unit just switch sides? And not just switch sides, but become the heroes of a whole new nation? That's the question right at the heart of this story, the story of the 2nd East Bengal Regiment, better known as the Junior Tigers.
All right, so first things first. Who exactly were the Junior Tigers?
Yeah, the Junior Tigers have this really unique history. Think about it. They started their service in one army, only to become the founding heroes of a completely different one. It's this incredible transformation that we're really going to unpack today. Okay, so let's just lay out the key facts here. They were founded way back in 1949 as part of the Pakistan Army. But as you can see, their journey would lead them to become a core part of the Bangladesh Army after 1971. So yeah, let's dive in and start right at the beginning. All right, to really get a handle on this transformation, we have to go back to their origins inside the Pakistan Army.
So the whole reason this regiment was created in the first place was to be a symbol of Bengali representation in a military that was, frankly, dominated by other ethnic groups. And it didn't take long at all for them to be tested in a major conflict, the 1965 war between India and Pakistan.
And this is a really crucial point. Their service had a huge impact that went way beyond just the battlefield. See, at the time, there were these deeply entrenched stereotypes about the fighting abilities of Bengalis. The Junior Tigers' performance in that 1965 war, it just completely shattered those prejudices.
And we're not talking about some minor skirmish here. Their actions on the Lahore front were critical. They defended a vital defensive line, the BRB Canal, which was basically protecting a major city. This performance earned them some serious praise and really cemented their reputation as a top-notch fighting force within the Pakistan Army.
But that reputation, that loyalty, it was all about to be tested just a few short years later in what would become the single most defining moment of their entire history.
So we're in March of 1971. The political situation in what was then East Pakistan was, well, it was reaching a boiling point. Calls for more autonomy, even independence, were getting louder and louder every single day.
Now, the Junior Tigers were stationed at a place called Jaidabpur, not far from Dhaka. And as these tensions just kept escalating, the Pakistani military command started getting really suspicious of the loyalty of its Bengali troops. And that suspicion, it led directly to a confrontation. An order came down from high command, disarm the Bengali soldiers. So now the Junior Tigers, along with local civilians who were backing them up, they're facing this critical, history-altering decision.
A clash erupted. Right there, the Junior Tigers versus the Pakistani forces sent to disarm them. This was it. This was the point of no return.
And it all came to a head on this one day, March 19th, 1971. You got to remember this date because it marks the very first armed resistance by a regular army unit in what would soon become the Bangladesh Liberation War.
Look, this wasn't just some mutiny. This was a foundational act in the creation of a new nation's army. Their revolt literally transformed the conflict from a civilian uprising into an organized military struggle. It was a catalyst, inspiring other Bengali units to defect, and the Junior Tigers became a core fighting force for the entire independence movement.
So after the war, after the birth of Bangladesh, the regiment was brought back together, reconstituted into the new Bangladesh Army, and their professionalism continued to be tested. But now they were in service of their own nation.
And if you want to see their professionalism in action after independence, let's look at this one specific operation from 1989. This wasn't a conventional war, This was a super complex counterinsurgency operation that required a totally different set of skills and just immense discipline.
The level of planning here was just meticulous. They spent 2 months on intelligence alone. To keep it secret, they used a civilian truck, and get this, they even marched barefoot for 6 hours through really rough terrain just to avoid leaving tracks. It was a textbook example of disciplined, flawless execution. And yeah, the operation was a huge success. They neutralized the threat, recovered weapons, and their soldiers earned National Gallantry Awards. It was just crystal clear proof that the unit's high professional standards were absolutely thriving in the new Bangladesh Army.
So, after all that, what is the lasting legacy of the Junior Tigers today? Well, today, the regiment is still a cornerstone of the Bangladesh Army. Their role is incredibly diverse. We're talking everything from national defense and internal security, all the way to being major contributors to international UN peacekeeping missions. They're carrying that professionalism onto the world stage.
Their unique dual identity is just perfectly captured in their two mottos. You've got the official one, Grace, Strength, Speed, which reflects that professional military ethos. But then you have their unofficial motto, My blood is the soil of Bengal. And that speaks to the deep, patriotic sacrifice right at the very heart of their identity, an identity that was forged in the fires of the 1971 Liberation War.
So, what does the story of one single regiment tell us about the birth of a nation? Well, ultimately, the journey of the Junior Tigers, from a unit in one army to the founding heroes of another, it's just this incredibly powerful story of identity, of loyalty, and of the fight for independence. Their story isn't just military history, right? It's a microcosm of a nation's birth. It shows us how loyalty can shift from a state to a people, and how professionalism can be carried from one flag to the next.